are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here today, and just like another time, we have another guest, another show, and this time, we have a returning guest. We have the founder of Mera Labs, is David Roberts, and just a little feedback, recap on our previous interview. He is someone that is on a mission to help people discover new options, right, for their health. And we hear about supplements all the time, but he has something that's very special, and it has a even more special story. After losing his wife, Mara, she was lost to breast cancer, and he wanted to do something very special. And they both are amazing human beings in the work that they do. But he wanted to do something very special because in his public health training from Johns Hopkins, he wanted to create a new supplement company. And it was something that was grounded on cutting edge science and something that can be backed with real results. And he made this personal. So, talk about personal. He and his team was giving me and my family some samples to try. And I can say it's public. My mom is loving it, man. You can get a testimony before we even get him on the show to talk about what he's been doing behind the scenes. But I just want to say that to our audience because y'all already know. Mama Reed is holding it down for I Am Refocused Radio behind the scenes. So for her to feel really good, not only is my dad and my mom having better sleep, but my mom is being able to lose a few pounds already, and her hair is growing. So there you go, David. I just gave you a little plug, but first and foremost, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me back.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you being on. I know I kind of sped through the recap, and I know you can do better justice. So for our viewers and our audience, kind of remind us a little bit about the mission, why this amazing product is so personal to you.
Yeah, so it came about basically, as you mentioned, with the diagnosis of my late wife, Maura, had with her breast cancer. And we ended up growing her cancer cells and putting 60 different supplements on them in Petri dishes to see what specifically killed her type of cancer. And then this good molecule from broccoli, it's just called sulforaphane, was number 3. And so when I went out to try to buy it, for a supplement, I couldn't find it because it didn't exist. All the broccoli supplements on the market are the precursor molecule, which comes before sulforaphane because it's stable and sulforaphane is not stable. So if you have a head of broccoli, you can start chewing it and you break down the cell wall that releases an enzyme that converts this precursor molecule called glucoraphamin into the good molecule sulforaphane. You swallow it, you get the benefit. But if you try to harness it, it degrades quickly. And so what we ended up doing for years was grow broccoli sprouts and juice them. And that was the best we could do until a friend of mine one day he said he stabilized sulforaphane. And so sure enough, we tested it, he had. And at that point, we weren't thinking of releasing it. But Mara was like, we have to get this out to people. There are over 2,000 research papers from in the literature, most of them coming from Johns Hopkins because they discovered the molecule back in 1992. And so they have driven the research on it. But there's all sorts of benefits and that you can read about that I can't talk about. But so she started raising the seed money to bring the product to market. And unfortunately, she got sick and died. Or she was sick, but she took a turn for the worse and died in September 2017. And then we took the seed money and started the company and had products on the shelf by March of 2018. And so the broccoli was our first product. It's just a wonder product. It has over 39 pro-health mechanisms in the literature. Things like reducing inflammation. It reduces pro-inflammatory markers 30%. in 24 hours from just 2 capsules, which is the equivalent of about 5 pounds of mature broccoli. And so it's definitely a heavy hitter. We added an additional, it's broccoli plus, we added an additional cousin molecule to sulforaphane. It's called PEITC from watercress. The two work together in synergy. So a true synergy, unlike additive is 1 + 1 = 2. Synergy is 1 + 1 = 5. So it has 5 times the effect when you add those two together on this good pathway that turns on your detox system, called the NRF2 pathway. And so anyway, those are, this is kind of how we get going. My boys and I are doing great. But I always say, how much better would we be if Mara were still present in our lives? And so having tools to help people so that parents can see their kids graduate college, graduate high school, get married, grandparents can, be on the ground playing with their grandbabies and not stuck in a chair and thrown in some nursing home. So, having good quality and longevity of life is what we're after.
When you think about the mission of your product and how personal it is to you, what kind of separates you off from what's out there on the market? Because there's other broccoli supplements in the market that are available to people. What makes your product a little bit different approach? And why should people not just study? Because disclaimer, please study and check with your doctor and all that good stuff. But why should people really pay attention to what you're doing?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's one I try to hit, because our product's expensive, and that's why we offer a discount for your listeners. But basically, it's really backbreaking to make, because the process it's hard. But the other broccoli supplements, all but 2, ours and one from France called Prostophane, are the only stable form of the sulforaphane. So you have the sulforaphane in the capsule. The other products basically have the precursor molecule, and so when you swallow it, they're relying on your gut bacteria to convert that glucoraphanin into sulforaphane. But you have to have the right gut bacteria. Most people don't have that, so it's just a crapshoot. The other thing is, even if you do convert some of these glucoraphanin into sulforaphane, it's probably not enough. Most of the time, it's not enough to turn on that good pathway, which is where all the magic happens. NRF2 is responsible for glutathione, detox enzyme, and it actually goes into the nucleus of the cells and turns on 200 different genes that they can start producing antioxidants. So it's called the antioxidant response element. 200 different antioxidants that can. So if you have a vitamin C, which is an antioxidant, you have a pro-oxidant. That one vitamin C cancels that one pro-oxidant, and then it's done. Whereas sulforaphane is more like a master antioxidant in that it turns on 200 different antioxidants and stays on. Those genes keep producing those enzymes for over 72 hours, and so it's a big deal. And so these other glucoraphanin supplements, they may say they're like 5 to 8 on Amazon, that actually deceptively say they have sulforaphane on the label. All of them say they have sulforaphane from the marketing standpoint, but if you typically turn over it on the label, you'll see glucoraphanin or sulforaphane glucosinolate, which is the precursor form of sulforaphane. And so I always say, ask the company for the certificate analysis. But yeah, I mean, if it's inexpensive, it's probably it's not sulforaphane, because sulforaphane is very difficult to make.
Once again, let's not Refocused Radio and watching us online, talking to our special guest today, David Roberts. Make sure you go check out their website, mara-labs.com, and understanding we have a little gift for you guys. We'll save that till the end. They're giving us a discount. So once again, I want to appreciate them for all that. It'll be in our show notes. But moving right along to today's focus on firefighters, first responders, firefighters specifically, they are exposed daily to toxic smoke, stress on the job. We know that the labor is intense. They work very hard. It's a lot that the body has to endure. What's some of the benefits that broccoli does for people who are exposed to those toxins and also heavy labor intense?
Yeah, sure. I mean, hopefully they're wearing some protective gear, but even like what was it last summer, 2 summers ago with the fires in LA? When was that? Is that 2 years ago now?
So.
Basically the air was just, it was smoke filled, and so even I think 3 years ago in Virginia, I'm in Virginia, we had smog warnings from Canadian fires. So the fires, the smoke from the fires were so massive, they were traveling south and causing issues with our outdoor air. And so I've been to Delhi, India. I've been to Beijing, and both of those places, and there are many places like this now, industrial centers, where if you go outside for more than 15 minutes, you come back in and literally, not figuratively, literally your snot is black. And so that is it's a huge amount of pollution. And so, there have been really, really good studies showing that sulforaphane, can take the toxins that are in the air. So, like a lot of cars, different fires, with fires, who knows what's going in there? There's burnt everything, burnt plastics, burnt chemicals. It's awful. And so, but specifically, there's a study looking at this, one of the municipalities in China that was an industrial center, and they would give it's a broccoli sprout beverage that had sulforaphane in it, and showed massive amounts of these toxins coming out of these people's bodies. And in particular, the one chemical that comes to mind is benzene, which is a known carcinogen. And I think people who do woodworking are exposed to that as well. And so, it's, these responders, they do a good job of taking care of themselves, but sometimes, you can be in situations, where you have to, get exposed, either most likely the air. And so it's just not a great situation. So having a tool where if you get exposed, you can detox. And so sulforaphane, actually, there are 3 phases of detoxing a chemical out of the body, and it works in all 3 phases. It's one of the only molecules, only supplements that does that. And so it's actually the best phase 2 detoxifier of any compound. So typically when you detox, a lot of people get sick. I call it the detox flu. You just feel crummy. And that's because that phase 1 is mobilizing these toxins to make them water soluble, so you can start getting them out of your body. And so in that step, often it can make the toxin more toxic in order to get it out. And so a lot of these alternative detox programs are just ramping up your phase 1, and so you get sick. Sulforaphane actually slows phase 1, which is brilliant because it speeds up phase 2, and you're just getting it out of your body faster, or in a way where you don't get sick, I should say. And so it's a balanced approach to detoxification. And again, like I said, it's one of the only things that can get it's the kind of the one-stop shop for detox.
And for those who like to work out, firefighters, first responders, obviously they're hitting the gym most likely. And when you think about the body being able to recover. You have bundles that help them with that as well. What's some of the benefits that they can feel, and what's that timing look like when they're taking it?
Yeah, recovery is huge. I mean, we have in my hometown, Charlottesville, we have sort of a cult following of some middle-aged runners who swear by it for recovery. So basically, when you're stressing your body when you work out, it's a good stress, and it makes your body stronger, right? But the antioxidant response system that we were talking about earlier can actually make an impact on that recovery. Additionally, those sore muscles, lactic acid buildup, that it can help with that. And as I mentioned earlier, it can decrease pro-inflammatory markers 30% in 24 hours. And so you're not as sore, you feel better for that next day if you're going to work out again. So it definitely is great at speeding up recovery.
Once again, listen on Refocused Radio and watching us online, talking to our special guest, David Roberts. My next question is, a lot of times these careers, they're disrupted with their sleep. I mean, first responders, they're always on the go, they're on call and answering the call. You have a product, Sleep Elite. What are some benefits that people may be missing out that they just don't understand is there and available?
Yeah, I mean, so the product itself, it has tryptophan, which is the good amino acid, makes you tired after Thanksgiving. And then the tryptophan turns into 5-HTP, which is another form of tryptophan that turns into serotonin, that turns into melatonin. Melatonin is what is produced when the sun goes down, your lights, let's say you're under candlelight or on a campfire, not the blue lights that we have in our houses now, but it makes you to feel sleepy. And so you want to have a lot of the serotonin and melatonin precursors available in order to produce that melatonin. And so, again, it has tryptophan, 5-HTP, and then, it has berberine. So berberine is known to help with blood glucose. And so if you have a late meal, that can actually tend to cause sleep issues because your body is still trying to digest it. So I say, try to eat your last meal about 4 hours before bedtime. But if you don't, then this berberine will basically help take the glucose out of your blood. So when your melatonin kicks in, your insulin that processes the glucose and helps the cells receive it for energy, that insulin is turned off. And so you can go all night and have this blood glucose sitting there, which leads to a lot of inflammation. It leads to these things called advanced glycation end products, which are basically you're rusting on the inside, and it ages you. And so all bad. And so having this berberine help process the glucose is a huge step. But it also actually, one of my favorite papers about berberine was an animal study, and it was entitled "Berberine Outperforms Valium as a Sleep Aid." And so the reason for that is it increases serotonin in your gut by 30% and increases dopamine, which is the feel-good molecule, by 25%. And so both of those help with the sleep as well. And then there's broccoli, the sulforaphane product that we add in there. The one thing I didn't mention as far as a benefit is broccoli. The sulforaphane turns on brain-derived neurotropic factor, BDNF, which is at the center of our brain health. So you can get BDNF by exercising. You can get BDNF by turning on or by taking broccoli. And when you do, a lot of people well, the benefit is that it protects existing neurons and helps to grow new neurons, and that's why it's really good for the brain. But about 20, a quarter of the people who take broccoli will have vivid dreams, and that's the neuroplasticity. That's the brain-derived neurotrophic factor kicking in. That's how you know that it's working, and so it helps with sleep too. So it's a sleep and mood product because some people who have mood issues can't sleep. Some people who have sleep issues can end up having mood issues as well. And so we also put in so basically a lot of people with mood issues can't methylate their B vitamins. And so we have a methylated B6 in there that's already methylated, so you don't have to methylate them. The methylated form of the B vitamins, it's the form that the body uses. And so if most people don't take the methylated forms, but then you can actually process them and get them into the usable form. This methylating them ahead of time bypasses that. We also have a methyl donor, so it can push the methylation reaction for those people who have methylation issues. So anyway, altogether, that's what's in the sleep lead. It's people tend to. It doesn't have melatonin and it's purposeful because melatonin is a hormone, and it's also the most sold supplement of all the supplements, and so. If you want melatonin, you can find it. But a lot of people, growing number of people, can't take melatonin before in bed, and it kind of screws them up. And so, if you're a first responder, you have to get up. If you get called, you may not want to do the melatonin because it can, it doesn't have to, but some people can be groggy. Whereas the sleep lead helps you get to sleep and get into deep sleep quickly. If you have a wearable, you can see, I get a really good balanced deep and light sleep or REM sleep. That's what sleep lead is. People can give it a try. There are a lot of good sleep products out there, but this is just one of them. And so, if it doesn't work for you, we offer a 100-day money-back guarantee. So the burden is on us, and there's no burden on you to try it. And hopefully, most of the time, people notice a difference, which is great.
And just to follow up on that a little bit with your broccoli product, there's reports from my neck of the woods, people I shared it with, that they're sleeping better. Is that something that is normal with that product? And if you could explain why they're getting that benefit as well.
Yeah. So, it could be a variety of things, right? So it could be their inflammation levels. So they're just not as inflamed, which helps with the sleep. It's great for neural inflammation. It travels through the blood-brain barrier and impacts the inflammation in your brain. Something we talked about last time, microplastics are everywhere. They're in your brain. They're in your gut. There's a gut-brain connection. And so if you're starting to get those mobilized and excreted from your body, that can help a lot of, if you're decreasing your toxic burden, that will help also everything in your body function better. And so, but I think from the brain standpoint and the sleep standpoint, those can be factors, but the stimulating the brain-derived neurotrophic factor, I think, it is a big factor too, where it's just, giving your brain time to rest and recover. And so that's important. But my sleep stack, I'll take 2 bergolites, 2 broccolites, 2 sleep leads, and then I'll keep one of each by my bed. If I wake up at like 3 or something, I'll just, without even thinking, take them. And that really helps me sleep. And so those 3 combined is my sleep stack personally. But you can try one of each. You can just try the sleep lead because it has the other 2 products in there. And so But yeah, I think the other thing you can notice is taking broccoli and sleep elite, but just take broccoli alone or sleep elite alone. If you have a tracking device, you can notice that it's improving the quality of your sleep, which is really neat to see.
And one quick question for you before we go for a circle is first responders, their families. Some of them got kids, but you have product for kids. You have broccoli for kids, and you even have for dogs. So if you can, for first responders out there who have a family and they have kids and maybe a pet, a dog, what's some products that also can look out for them as well?
Yeah, so this is the dog product. Basically, we're just giving out bags of our powders to dogs, families with dogs, especially older dogs. So the dogs are really great at managing their pain until they reach a threshold, and then you can see the dogs dragging their legs, and that's because you just can't deal with the pain. Or I was talking to another lady, the dog couldn't go up the stairs, stuff like that, and so inevitably, we have so many testimonials now, but you give them a capsule of our broccoli, and even one dose that next day. They very quickly, it could be a day, it could be 2 days, but basically they kind of are not only walking, but they're spry like a puppy. And so that's been very surprising, to people. So that's probably why we've gotten people writing back in. So that's pain management for older dogs is important, and as well as quality of life. So this happens to help with both of those. But then as far as kids, our Broccoli Plus, it's pretty potent. I think, and so not only children, but some adults can't take it. And so if they're like, oh, this was really strong for me, we'll point them to the Broccoli Kids. So it has half the sulforaphane, so 5 milligrams per capsule. It has 2.5 milligrams, and it doesn't have the PEITC from watercress. So it's much more gentle. But yeah, people tend to have a great response to that if they can't take the Broccoli Plus. And then after a period of time, they can migrate to the Broccoli Plus. When my kids, when we came out with the product, they're 7 and 9, and we didn't have a kids product. So they just took the regular product and they loved it. And so, it just depends. We wanted to have options for everybody. The kids, if they can't, take the stronger product, Broccoli Plus, or adults who are just like, this is way too much. Our research scientist, John, actually can't take Broccoli Plus because it's too strong for him. So he does the kids. So, yeah.
Well, once again, been listening to Refocused Radio and watching us online. Make sure you go to their website. It's mara-labs.com. There is a special code you can use for a little discount. It'll be in the show notes. So guess what? If you watch this audio through, you'll find the description. So make sure you go there and check it out. But once again, been talking to David Roberts. If there's anything else that you want to say to our audience, what would that be? I know summer is close. People might be interested in weight loss as well. We even covered that. What's great about your products, you literally have a buffet line of what people can choose from.
Yeah, just real quickly, since you mentioned it, we have a GLP-1 alternative. Some people can't take them. Some people can't afford them. They can tend to cause some side effects. So if you're coming off a GLP-1, you could try our product called GL Perfect. I'm not saying to come off it, but if you're thinking about it, you have to basically work with your physician. But our GL Perfect has green tea extract, which turns off your hunger hormone, so you're just not walking around hungry, and you don't have that food noise constantly. It has berberine, a bioavailable form of berberine. Most berberines, less than 1% gets through the gut barrier, which isn't enough to do anything. But our berberine is much more absorbed and it can mitigate against the glucose spikes, which can lead to cravings. And then alpha lipoic acid, the same. The other thing with these GLP-1s is about 40% of the weight loss is muscle mass. And so our product, Jill Perfect, all three of those ingredients guard against muscle loss because they impact the production of myostatin, which is the enzyme that degrades your muscle. And so it's just a very different product. We're very proud of it. Have some great testimonials, including your mom. Is your mother taking Jill Perfect?
She is starting because a good friend hooked her up. So I want to say thanks again for your team.
Absolutely. So like I said, we have a unconditional money back guarantee. We're currently doing a 60-day summer slim down challenge amongst our listeners. And so you can go onto our website and find out information about that on our blog. But we just, it's a way to support, if you wanted to lose weight ahead of summer, we're about 2 weeks in, about a week and a half in. And so still plenty of time to join.
With that said, I'm going to plug you myself. I've been taking the broccoli, and it's funny. You don't know it because I didn't tell you this being in the green room, but I literally only took it about 3 times last week, and then I took it about 2 times this week. It's amazing. I mean, I know you have the sleeping product, but I've been sleeping like a baby when I've been taking this broccoli. So I guess just the benefit of getting all the detoxing going, processing. Like I said, all the scientific words. I'm just the host. But I can publicly say with confidence that this is a very good product. I will stand by it, and I would say, as a disclaimer, always check with your doctor and all that good jazz. But coming from a host, I've been rocking with you guys since 2017. I'm telling you, you don't know what you miss if you don't try this. I mean, just try it one time, and, I'm telling you, we'll leave it there. But with that, I'm going to say to David, thank you for spending some time with us today again. And like always, you're welcome back to the show anytime you want, man.
Thank you so much. It's great to be with you today.